at this hiring pool you have.
This meeting is being recorded.
You reach out to these people and you talk to them, but then after you talk to those people, you've talked to your entire hiring pool and you're still paying for it. So I found that Facebook is better because the hiring pool is much larger. So my approach is a little different, or that I'm aware of, is I found that rather than just posting a post and saying, hey, we're hiring, I'll do that. I'll make a post and put our link for people to put in their applications. But what I'll also do is I will search up housekeepers in that area. And I will go through and look through all the housekeepers in that area, and I'll click on business pages. And there's kind of a magical number of about 50 to 100 followers that they have on that page. And if they're in that limit, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to say, hey, do you do any subcontracting? And I'm going to start that conversation. And if they do and they're interested, that's kind of my person, because one, they have a problem and I have that solution. They are a contractor and they need jobs, and I've got jobs and no contractor. And that's where I found the most success. And 100% of the time, 99.9% of the time, that's through Facebook. Does that answer that question?
Yeah. I'll let Zach respond in the chat if he wants to. KC said, my local chamber of commerce does a great job of keeping business owners informed about changing labor laws and taxes. For those that choose not to join or their chamber doesn't provide this, is there another easy source besides periodically checking individual government websites?
I haven't found one. I just keep up with it.
Yeah, Casey, that's something just honestly, if it weren't for Sam, we would struggle with that, because that's just, administration and details are definitely my weak area. So, yeah, that's just, I just rely on, as the business owner, I rely on Sam for stuff like that. Okay. What else you guys got? Yeah. You guys drop your questions into the chat, please. We've got Sam with us for 30 minutes to an hour. And so we just want to maximize this time with her. She's kind of an expert on this HR stuff. So drop your questions in. If there's anything you'd like for her just to talk about, even if you don't have a specific question, go ahead and drop those in too. Okay, one thing, Sam, well, here's one.
So you can see straight through into the kitchen.
Hey guys, if you don't mind, go ahead and mute yourself if you're not talking. Did you get that, Sam?
No.
Okay, I'll read it again. It says, what's your onboarding process for ICs? Do you offboard when the partnership is over?
So my onboarding process starts with sending our independent contractor agreement and their W-9. Always. That's the first thing I have them sign every single time. The next thing I have them fill out is a Google form with just their independent contractor I call it the independent contractor information, just their basic stuff like their name, their address, things like that. And then their availability. I have them put their basic availability on there so that we have an idea of it. It just helps in general. I could get this from them in any other form, but I really like people to jump through some hoops. I found that if these people jump through a few hoops in the onboarding process, they're more likely to stick with me after the onboarding process. If I can't get people to just do a few things in that onboarding process, they're not going to be great in a few weeks. After that Google form, I have to get like their direct deposit information. And then I send a whole onboarding email. In that email, it just says, hey, welcome to the team. This is who does our scheduling. This is a scheduling app. This is how you log in. This is the link to download the app. I send them a link to our manual that has all of our good practices on it, the link to our checklist for how, our expectations for the cleaning, our cleaning manual, and the supplies that are for our standards are all in that onboarding email. The next thing I send them is, sorry, one second, let me go through the list. So after that, they log app and they get logged in. And so then I make sure that they have to log into the app and they have to update their availability on their side. That's a new thing I've started doing. I used to update their availability on my side, and I no longer do that. I make them update their availability. That's just one more step in making sure that they're going to show up and be accountable. So that's kind of what my onboarding process looks like. If a contractor is leaving on good terms and with like they're letting me know this is my 2 weeks notice, I will close them up, make sure that I have the right address for their 1099 and all of that and everything we need. If they just leave, I do the best that I can.
Okay. Gerald asks, what are your typical net profit margins? We're usually right around 35% ish, somewhere around 35% is somewhere in there. And where can we get a contract to send the independent contractors? Well, ours, we paid an attorney to write. We paid him $500 to write it. I would imagine you can probably get on LegalZoom or just search the internet, just search Google. But ours we paid for. I just felt more comfortable, having that buttoned up. We had an issue this was pre-Sam. We had an issue with a lady. She put a hole in a wall and it was just a pain in the ass. And so I just was like, no, I'm not doing this. And so we paid an attorney to write one for us. So the person who asked the question says, okay, I agree with all that. Do you have them jump through hoops prior to the phone interview process? If so, what does that look like?
No, the hoops are after the phone interview process. The phone interview process is always after I first reach out to them over Messenger or however that first contact is via email or application. I also try to make a Zoom meeting if possible, if that's appropriate. Normally, that's only if like they put in an application, I can get them to do like a Zoom meeting. I really try to see what these people look like and who we're sending into homes. We always run a background check. We always do those things. But the more I can get people to do on the onboarding process, I really try to do.
Okay. Zach asked, does Sam coordinate and assign the jobs with the cleaners once a new job gets booked, or is that the operations manager's job? So Carrie is our operations manager and she handles, Sam, why don't you answer that since you're day to day with Carrie?
So when we onboard a new cleaner, typically I'll assign the first few jobs the cleaner does, because I'm more familiar with that cleaner schedule, kind of what they're capable of, what they know. And then afterwards, the calls come in and they come to Carrie and I's phone both. Carrie kind of gets the call first, and I get the overflow. So we're both scheduling. But Carrie and I will answer phones and then be on speakerphone with each other all day so that we can ask each other questions and everything about scheduling. So we're both actively involved in it.
Okay. Gerald asked to follow up. Do you guys do any in-person interviews? No, we don't. Gerald, we have the three of us, me, the owner, Sam, the HR manager, and Carrie, the ops manager. We all live within probably 15 minutes of each other ish. And that's on purpose, and luck is also. And we live in Northwest Arkansas, and we have a business, we do business here in Northwest Arkansas, but we also do business in like 7 other states. So you don't do any local in-person interviews, do you, Sam?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, we don't do everything's online to some degree, or a phone or something. And does everyone get a background check? Yeah, we do background checks on everybody. Addie asks, do you do test cleans before hiring?
We have someone that we'll send people out with.
Okay. So yeah, what that looks like, Addie. So do we do test cleans before hiring? No, but one thing I know Sam does is she does as much digging up through their Facebook. Why don't you talk about that, Sam? How you kind of investigate people?
So before I even reach out to anybody, I will look into their social media as much as I can to see if they've posted any pictures of their cleaning, or if they've posted, hey, I'm looking for cleaning jobs, and they've posted any pictures of the work. I really try to, if I have the opportunity, to know as much about this person as I can before I'm even reaching out to them, so that I'm not going into them blind. I really try to do my best to know before I'm sending anyone to anyone's home, to know everything I can about them before I'm doing so. And that I know that I'm sending a good quality candidate in.
Yeah. You're welcome, Addie. So the question is, with your multi-city approach, do you also have short-term rental and commercial clients, or strictly residential clients? So, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. We kind of just shut down the Airbnb short-term rental stuff, right? We
just not set up for it.
Yeah, it's not. I did it when I first started the company, or when I first took the company over from my daughter and was running it myself. And this was really before Carrie and way before Sam. I did Airbnb cleans, and it sucked. It was just it's just, with independent contractors, it is next to impossible to. It's just a pain in the rear end. And so for our business model, it's just not for us. Do we have commercial clients? Not. Yes and no. So Sam, I'll let you answer that. You have more inside info on that.
Our commercial clients are very much based on market by market scenario, whether our contractor there is set up for it or not. It's very whether that contractor is able to carry the commercial client or not, and they're set up to do it. And also with doing commercial work, there's just, it's its own thing. It almost needs its own contractor to do the commercial work. So it has to be set up separate from residential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've talked about, the three of us have talked about it a little bit. And as the business owner, I've thought about it because, like anybody, I want to make money. And so we've talked about the idea of commercial. The problem is, it's just such a different business model. It's not, I mean, it's apples and oranges, because Sam and Carrie get off at 4. They'll still answer the phone or respond to me if I got a question. They'll still work a little bit, but they're pretty much done at 4. A traditional commercial business, you're starting at 4, and so it's just a completely different business model, and it's very difficult and challenging to operate when you're using ICs and not employees, and you don't have a boots on the ground manager. And so, like what Sam was mentioning, we have really strong business owners in some markets, and so they can handle a commercial client and effectively. But we'd rather say no to a commercial client than take a chance on screwing up our brand. It is kind of how we approach that. But I know we do a lot of one-offs, as far as commercial stuff, but just anything consistent, it's not as common. Next question is, how do you broach the subject of ICs having integrity and not stealing from clients or stealing your clients from you? So I'll answer that, and then Sam can jump in. So if there's any hint of lack of integrity, they're fired immediately. Like, I'm not putting up with any nonsense. And Sam and Carrie are even tougher than me. We're just not going to put up with any nonsense. So have we had an issue or two? Yes, we had one specific issue that I can remember. We had a lady steal a laptop or something like that. And so I had to buy a laptop. But Sam, I mean, that's Sam's job. I mean, she does a really good job of making sure we don't hire assholes who are going to act stupid. So will it happen from time to time? Yeah. But it's gone way downhill now that Sam is doing her job instead of me trying to do it half butt and just, scrambling sometimes. And so we're much more proactive about it. As far as not stealing clients from us, again, if you hire people or if you work with people, we don't hire anybody. They're ICs. But if you work with people who have integrity, they're not going to do that. And we've had a handful that I know of who have actually said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go do my own thing. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye. And the relationship ended really well, and they still clean for us a little bit here and there. I know we've got one lady in Springfield who did that or is doing that. But then we've had a couple who wanted to be stupid and try to steal our clients. And most of the time, this is what's really funny about it. When that's happened, the client will actually call Carrie or Sam and tell them, hey, such and such is trying to steal me from you. So it usually doesn't work out very well for them. But anything you would add to that, Sam?
I think you covered it. Okay. It's not hard to see. Like it's not hard to see.
Yeah, but you can tell if someone's honest and a good person. Zach asked a question: do you pay the subs the same day after the cleaning, after the customer approves, or do you pay once a week? So we pay once a week. So Sam runs all of our reports, all of our financials and operational reports on Monday morning, and she sends me, and I've shared that KPI sheet with you guys. That's exactly what Sam uses. And so she sends me the KPI report sometime on Monday morning, and between then and when she has to pester me on Tuesday, I get a chance to look at it, and then she waits for me to say looks good. And then on Tuesday, she runs payroll, and then payroll gets run on Tuesday, and then everyone gets their money over. Sometimes they get it like Wednesday, but at the latest, it's overnight Wednesday. That answer that question, I think.
But pay is held, it's a week behind, so that if there's anything wrong with the clean and we have to do a refund or anything else, we can take it from that pay.
Yeah. And that's something, so I'll elaborate on that a little bit more. So that's something when I started and it was just me or just me and Carrie, I would do payroll like on Sunday and I would just pay people. Like we started off like paying people through PayPal and Cash App, and it was a freaking mess. Um, and there was, sometimes stuff happens and clients aren't happy and you just have to deal with it. And sometimes you need to, give them a refund or whatever. And so I ended up getting kind of screwed a few times. And so we ended up pushing pay back until Tuesday because we figured if there was anything on Friday or Saturday that was bad, we would have heard about it by Tuesday. And so, and it's in our IC agreement that, look, if we don't get paid, you don't get paid. So if we have to give a refund, that's going to be withdrawn or subtracted from the pay that the contractor gets. So, and they understand that ahead of time. The next question, it says, did the customer prove the laptop was stolen by the IC? What was that discovery? Well, yeah, I'm not going to get into all that. Yeah, it was stolen by the IC because it's a long story, but it was my fault. It was a mess. It was my fault because I hired someone last second and allowed them to take their crackhead friend with them. And it was stupid. And yes, the police were absolutely involved. Is it hard being in multiple markets? I'll let you answer that, Sam.
It depends on the day.
Okay. What would make it hard? Like what makes it challenging?
Oh gosh. Some days everything runs incredibly smoothly and it's fine. And then other days the phones are ringing off the hook and everything's on fire and it's in a mess, but it's really not. It just feels overwhelming. And then at the end of the day, it's very rewarding and all those emotions happen all in the very same day. So, but then 20 minutes later, I go to, a PTO meeting and someone's like, what do you do for a living? And I get to tell them about my really cool job that I was underneath my desk about, an hour ago. So it's.
Would you say, so Sam, I got a question for you. Would you say that like the fires and all the craziness is because we have multiple markets or just because we're busy?
I think it's because we're busy. It's
Okay.
just because we're busy. And it's
Right.
because when you work with schedules and you work with people in general and you're just scheduling for multiple people, it just gets busy.
Right. Yeah. It just more balls in the air kind of thing.
Yes.
You're welcome, Zach. Do you pay through Zelle or their preferred payment method or everyone through one method? So yeah, so when I started, and again, a lot of these answers are like pre-Sam and then post-Sam. So when I started, I was just paying people PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, like whatever they wanted, because I was an idiot. All right. And I had no clue that it would grow. Like I kind of knew it would, but I didn't really know what that meant and what that looked like. So now, like, you don't have a choice. Like Walmart doesn't give you a choice how you're getting paid. We're not giving you a choice either. Like we're not doing that. That's silly. We have one long time team member who's been with us for maybe a year, who we pay Cash App just for personal reasons. But other than that, everyone is we process through what's it called now, Sam? Through the bank?
It's ACH direct deposit.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's all
And
just through the bank. So I talked over you, Sam. Say it again.
I said it's wonderful. It's incredibly convenient.
Good. Okay. Giovanni asked, what direct resources do you use to find these cleaners? And is there a specific outlet you find better than the rest? So Sam, she kind of answered this this was kind of the first thing she talked about. But I'll go ahead and just give them the Reader's Digest on that. And just FYI,
So
everybody, I have recorded this, so I'll post the recording if you weren't on the front end. Go ahead, Sam.
So I use Facebook and I kind of go through and I look for people that are cleaning and looking for cleaning jobs. And then I go through their business pages and look for people with about 50 to 100 followers and reach out to them to see if they're interested in contracting.
Okay. And Giovanni, again, I'll post the recording. That was the very first thing she talked about, and she was kind of elaborated on it at that time. So I'll let you just kind of find it there. Daryl asks, yeah, no problem, man. It's cool. What's y'all's sales goal for 2023? So I don't actually set goals. I'm weird. I have a different approach than what most business people think. I operate on a values basis. And so I don't focus on an end goal or an end result. I focus on the steps and processes that will give us the greatest chance to be successful. And that's values. And so Sam and Carrie and I may be mistaken, but I don't think I've ever talked to them about goals. Because I don't set them. Like, I personally don't set goals in my personal life, and the other business things I do. I don't believe in goals because, and I'll soapbox on this for a second. And one of the reasons is because when you set a goal, how do you know that you couldn't have done better? And so, I'm currently personally on a weight loss journey right now. And I haven't set a goal just because I just want to live with the value of being healthy. And so that's it. And then in a business setting, we don't set any goals. I lead with values. I always have integrity and transparency. I always communicate as best as I can. I stay out of the way of my team members. Just different values that I personally lead with and try to live by. That's what I go off of. Now, as far as how much do I think we'll make this year, I don't know. We'll see how we do in the spring and summer. We've started out really strong. We may hit 800,000 this year. I don't know. We'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if we did. What other questions do you guys have? So the question is, how do you manage multiple GMBs, Google listings, in multiple areas under one umbrella? So that's kind of a marketing question. I'll answer it real quickly. I don't put them under one umbrella. That's all of our Google listings have their own individual Google email and account. So they don't go under one umbrella. That's how I manage it. What other personnel, hiring, HR, people management questions you guys have for Sam? And you can ask marketing and business stuff too. That's fine. But I don't want to keep Sam on here if we're done with HR questions. Okay, here's a question. What's the average turnover period? How often are you conducting your hiring process?
So our turnover is a lot better than it used to be. And that question really depends on the market. So in Northwest Arkansas, our turnover is different than it is in a smaller market. We've been able to really retain our cleaners. But when we don't hire anyone, when we contract subcontractors that have teams, we're able to retain them for longer when we're keeping them busy, versus when we hire our contract individuals, they are always looking for the next thing. And so that's part of the hiring process, looking for someone that is looking for jobs and to stay busy. That helps with that retention. And that's something that I've been working to to lower that number for the company, but also for my own sanity, because that turnover is awful. But I would say that it is vastly improved. The turnover, our cleaners, we've had cleaners that have just stayed with us for months and months and months.
Mhm. And I think just to add to what Sam said, one thing that we've kind of learned just accidentally, I mean, that's what business is. You just learn and figure out trends and stuff, is ideally I want to make sure we're not in any markets that are that huge. Like we're getting into Houston, but we're not really in Houston yet, like really rocking and rolling. And so like if you take like a market like Northwest Arkansas or Little Rock that has a few 100,000, we have one we have one contractor for all of Little Rock. And it works best for us to have just one contractor / business owner who has their own team. And it's the same thing with like the Oklahoma City market. We do really well in Oklahoma City and Little Rock because we have amazing contractors there, one each in each market. And so that's kind of what we've accidentally discovered, is it's best to have one independent contractor for each market and then feed them so much business that and make it their responsibility to go build a team and help them with their business and growing their team. Because a lot of times what'll happen, I think, is, we'll find somebody who has like a helper or two helpers, and then we'll just keep pumping business at them, and then they'll have to hire. And so they're the ones doing the hiring, not us. And so it just obviously saves Sam a ton of time. It saves on payroll. It just makes the process of working, instead of working with 5 people, we're working with one. And so that's kind of what we discovered and what we want to be. That's what we want it to be like. It's not always the case, but that's how we prefer it. Giovanni asks, make sure we answered that. How often are you conducting the hiring process? That's just as needed. So I'll just answer that real quick. So as part of the KPI, we have it broken down. We have a column for each market, right? And at the bottom, the last section of the KPI is human resources. And it says current staffing and then staffing needed. And so I'm sure Sam and Carrie are talking all day, every day about what's going on in each market. And so that way they already know, but that's just Sam communicating with me really what's going on, so that I can look at our KPI report and just know, okay, she's working on this or whatever's going on. That's just for me. But we're constantly, if we lose somebody, then we're filling it. Next question. What contributed to the improvement of your turnover? Is it asking specific questions during the interview process? How do you identify those red flags during the phone interview? So let me answer first, and then I'll let Sam answer specifically. What contributed to the improvement of our turnover is specifically me not doing it, because I suck and Sam doesn't. Like, that's the bottom line answer. Now, for her specifically, I'll ask the questions again. Is it asking specific questions during the interview process? How do you identify those red flags during the phone interview?
So I think the biggest help for our turnover was that I stopped contracting people without experience. Those people can get their start somewhere else. We're running a business. Those people need to go find my people that I'm trying to get on with us and go be their help. The other thing is the red flags when I'm starting and going through the hiring process, the onboarding process, are not turning in their paperwork. That's a red flag. When I'm calling people trying to get stuff in, if I can't get them on the phone, that's a red flag. If I ask someone if they can pass a background check and they say, well, kind of, that's a red flag.
Sorry.
It happens.
I'm sure.
So, and my intuition, really, when you're talking to someone, I think that you should trust that. If you're speaking to someone and there's something that says, oh, this might be not great, you should trust that that's not great. So when you first meet someone, they give you the best version of them. And if that best version of them is not great, then who they show up on the first day is going to be a step down from that.
That's a good point. Okay, next question. Tracy asked, any tips on getting lead? I know you told us Google ads were great, but I know you're stepping away from Google ads. Okay, so let me be very specific. Google AdWords are not great. Google local ads, the green guaranteed check mark, those are called Google local ads or Google local services ads, used to be great. I tested it and we used it last fall, and we were getting leads between $12 and $14 a lead, and that was good. At some point, their prices jumped, and now they're $22 to $25 a lead, and that sucks. And so we don't use Google local ads anymore. We just use our Google listings. So all of our leads are free. They're either referrals or they are from our Google listing or our website. And so any tips on getting leads, if you're getting started, I would say post in local Facebook groups. That's the best, cheapest way to get leads. But in my coaching, I teach how to get your Google listing optimized. I mean, that's one thing I do teach. So that may be something you want to check out. You said, I'm having a hard time getting leads and then being okay with my prices. Yeah, I mean, that's Sam. Let me ask you kind of a follow up to that. How often do people balk at our prices?
Not as often as you would think. You have your people that do, but when people call and they're like, well, that's so expensive, I literally say nothing. I just sit there in silence, because find less.
Mhm.
Find less.
Yeah.
If we're too expensive, find less. Someone will do it for $50 with some dirty mop in the back of their car. I mean, if you want quality service, we're quality service, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah. So yeah, don't justify your price. If they don't want to pay it, they don't want to pay it. Like, that's just how often
not
do you think
every
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Not every client is your client, and that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. How like, if you could say out of 10 phone calls, how many are like tire kickers?
I would say probably like 3 or 4.
Okay.
But now we send every lead we get, and that's probably not true, but every lead we get, we send like a follow-up email or whatever for that call. We'll send that email and of our quotes, and they will come back. They'll call around and realize that, we're in the ballpark, or that we offer more for that price. And so they will call back.
Yeah. Do you hire inexperienced ICs? Sam actually answered that question when you were typing it. No, we don't. Like Sam said, you can get your experience somewhere else. Do you optimize your GMB page? Absolutely. That's the one thing in the business that I keep my arms wrapped around. I don't ask Sam or Carrie to do any marketing stuff. I do all that. And the only marketing I do is digital marketing. So yes, I optimize our GMB pages. That's where all of our business comes from. If it's not a referral, that's it. That's where we get all of our business. What other questions can we answer for you guys? Sam, is there anything that people haven't asked that you were expecting to be asked?
Let me think on that for a minute. I had some things prepared. I think I answered most of the things. Tax time. Have a spreadsheet of everyone's information.
We've had fun with that. So let me throw a tidbit in about accountants. Interview accountants. Ask very specific questions about how they do things. Ask about what kind of clients and small businesses they currently serve. And if they don't serve businesses that are similar to yours, stay away. We've learned that lesson the very, very painfully hard way. It's been an enormous pain in the ass for Sam, and I've lost the last couple of hairs that I've had. About lost my shit also a couple times. It's just been not fun. So definitely be discriminating about your accountant, no matter who recommends them to you. Giovanni asked, what percentage do you pay your subs? So Sam, you answer that just in case, because I know what we pay. But you go ahead and answer that.
So for individual contractors, we pay 50% for the first 90 days and 55% after that. And then for people that have a team, we pay 55% and then 60% after that.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was 90 days. Yeah. What is, I haven't looked lately, but we've been averaging, our average percentage of payroll has been, or of sales for payroll has been right around 55%, right?
Mm-hmm. It kind of bounces between like 54 and 55.
Okay. Yeah. So let me clarify what I just said. So if we do say we do $100 in sales, we pay $54 to $55 of that out to a contractor on average for all of our revenue. And so that's where our gross profit is right at 45 to 46%. And then from there, I pay Carrie, I pay Sam, I pay our phone bill, I pay not the accountant anymore. Whoever else needs to get paid, whatever, the taxes and all that crap. And then we end up right around 35%. So Giovanni asked a question, how do you entice these contractors to come on board with your company?
I don't. I have a problem. I have a solution to their problem. They are trying to grow and they need jobs. So I look for people that are posting like sales or really low prices, like on Facebook groups and stuff. Like sometimes I'll even see people like offering to do deep cleans for like $100. And so I'll go to their Facebook page, and they always are in that $50 to $100 follow range, where they're just they're cleaning houses and they're trying to get started. And so I always reach out and I just say who I am, and I say, do you do any subcontracting? And so when they say yes, I do, I tell them who I am, what we do, and I get them on the phone.
All right. So next question is, what do you use for phone numbers for each location? Is open phone good? So that's kind of a technical question. I use a company, or I'll say company called CallRail, CallRail.com. You can check them out. That's where I buy our phone numbers at. Is open phone good? I have no idea. Never heard of them. I'm sorry, I can't give you more specific feedback. But CallRail is who I've used. And I just buy our phone number. Our phone numbers cost us $1.75 a month, and then we pay like a penny or two per minute or something like that for all of our phone numbers. Do you dabble in commercial cleaning jobs or strictly residential? I would say we dabble in commercial cleaning based on who the contractor is for that market. So there's some markets that when a commercial call comes in, we'll say no thank you. And there's other markets where when a commercial job comes in, we'll say, hey, we'll have our team lead come and do a walkthrough, and then we'll send the info to the IC. It just strictly depends on the independent contractor, and if they want to and are capable of doing a good job. If yes, do you require them to have specific insurance? So that's a really good question. So one thing about insurance, in the terms of service, in the independent contractor agreement that Sam has all of the ICs sign, they are signing that they have insurance. And so like that's how we cover ourselves legally. We have a document that is formally signed by them that says they have insurance and they are responsible. And that's for commercial or residential, it doesn't matter. Now we still have our own company insurance to cover us as a business, but they have to sign that document or we're not sending them anywhere. Zach has a follow-up about the phone number. Says my first and only phone number at the moment is an open phone, but if I want to open multiple Google business profiles, I'm trying to see which platform to get additional numbers on. So CallRail, Zach, is the one I use. There's CallFire. If you just Google CallRail or CallFire, then all the others will pop up, and just check the AdWords because they all run AdWords against each other's names. So you can look for them that way. Would you spell the phone company name again? Sure. Here, I'll just type it real quick. There. Giovanni asked, do you sell copies of your subcontractor agreement? Okay, sure. Send me a private message and we can do that, I guess. I've never been asked before. Okay, we are at 7:50. So my goal, I don't set goals. So I was going to get Sam out of here at 8 or by 8. So any other human resources questions? Want to make sure she can tuck the kids into bed before they go to sleep. Any other HR questions for Sam? We got 10 more minutes. Giovanni, dude, hit me up on Facebook, man. That's the easiest, best way. Just find me on Facebook and shoot me a private message. Okay. Any last HR questions? Okay. Going once, twice. Sold. All right. Sam, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. You've been incredibly helpful. You are awesome and amazing. So I'll stick around for just a second. If anybody has business or marketing Google questions, I'll answer those. But Sam, jump off here and tell your husband I said thank you for sharing you.
Hey, bye guys.
Bye. All righty. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. Excuse me. Excuse me. And answer any marketing, Google, Facebook, website questions you have, or just general business questions. How much do I spend on Facebook ads a month? 0. I do not run Facebook ads. Facebook ads convert very poorly. I can get Facebook leads between $5 and $10 a lead, which is awesome, but they convert at about 15 to 20%, which sucks. And so I'm not screwing around with it. We're busy enough. I'm not messing with it. We just did $60,000 in February. I'm not spending any time or money screwing around with Facebook. I wouldn't either. If you're going to spend money at this point, I would put it in Google local ads. Get your Google guaranteed badge and put it there. It's expensive, but you will make money if you. People I've talked to, close rates. If you can keep your close rate above 50%, you'll make money. Depending on how you're got your business model set up. We were closing 40%. I don't know if that was just us not selling well or what, but at closing 40%, I was making like $25 a job, and I'm not here to make $25 a job. So that's why I stopped. But if you're doing the cleaning, or if it's you and a helper, excuse me, or if you're closing more than 50%, then it might be worth it to you to give it a shot. But then other people have also told me that it's the calls have slowed down a lot. That's some feedback I've gotten in some of the marketing groups I'm in, that Google local ads has just slowed way down. So I don't know. Yeah, spending too much money. Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting ROI on it, it's just not worth it. I mean, at that point, just keep doing what you're doing as far as what I'm teaching in the group, and then that'll start to kick in eventually, and then just keep posting in Facebook groups. Zach asked, with 2 Google profiles in areas with 50K population each and getting those ranked, would that provide enough calls to keep busy? Those are the 2 largest populated suburbs. So the industry standard for residential cleaning is that 10% of the population use a residential cleaner. That's what industry experts have said as far as estimates. So you kind of do the math. So if you're in a population, if you got your Google listings ranked high and a population of 100,000, you've got a pool, of what, 1,000. No, not 1,000, 10,000. So yeah, that should keep you busy. I mean, it just depends on, how busy do you want to be? So, that's really what it amounts to. If you're wanting to grow and scale, then you'll need to continue to grow and expand your reach with more Google listings. But yeah, 100,000. Yeah, I mean, we're in markets of 100,000. Like, that's my minimum. We're in, like, for example, Topeka, Kansas, and we do 1,500 to 2,000 a week in Topeka, Kansas. So no, about 1,500 a week. So that's kind of where Topeka is a weird city, I think, but and I think we could do better than that. So, any other questions? Zach, did that answer your question? Cool. Good. You're welcome. Okay. You bet. You bet, Giovanni. My pleasure. You're welcome, Addie. Okay. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to jump off here. Just to let you know, we do have that training, the Cleaning Business Mastermind, where I teach you everything I know how to do this. So if you're interested, hit me up. You guys have a good evening. Take care.